The case of Harold Scott shows how corrections department officials can struggle to fire guards they believe have brutalized prisoners. In 2019, Scott had just begun a 90-day sentence at the Willard Drug Treatment Campus in the Finger Lakes region for violating parole after serving time for burglary and assault. He got into a dispute with a guard over the number of rubber bands in his dreadlocks. When the officer, Timothy Downs, slapped him in the face, Scott said he hit the guard back. What followed was a criminal street gang style beating, investigators would later write, with guards punching and kicking Scott even after his hands had been cuffed behind his back. This is not uncommon. We've seen this with many cases. Correction officers continuing assaulting those incarcerated, even though their hands are tied behind their back, they're cuffed behind their back. I.e., Robert Brooks. Back to the article. Doctors at a nearby hospital determined that Scott had life-threatening injuries, including a punctured lung, and put him into intensive care, records show. This is the gentleman. Wow. Discipline cases for guards can start in many ways, including a phoned-in tip, a letter, a prisoner's complaint, or a report from supervisors. It is not clear who reported the beating of Scott, that investigators spoke to him at the hospital the next day. Officers told investigators that they did not know how Scott was injured, records show. Downs, the officer who confronted Scott about the rubber band, said the prisoner had hit him first, so he had tackled Scott to the ground. Guards' written reports said they stopped using force as soon as they handcuffed Scott. Investigators concluded that the reports were falsified and that officers conspired and created a false narrative to cover up the beating, noting that the documents were identical in important sections. Officials decided to fire the officers who did not respond to phone calls, emails, and certified letters requesting comment from the Marshall Project. Their lawyer declined to comment. The union challenged the firings in front of separate arbitrators, arguing that none of the state's witnesses saw the attack and that Scott was not credible. Again, another circumstance in which they discredit the incarcerated individual, just saying they're not credible because they're incarcerated. His criminal history of assault and burglary and an altercation with officers at a county jail in 2002 meant he is not a good guy, the union lawyers wrote. In all cases, arbitrators agreed that Scott had been attacked, but said the evidence did not prove who did it. They did not fire any guards responsible for the assault, but ruled that 3 covered it up. Those officers were suspended for at least 6 months. A 4th officer had previously agreed to a suspension. So just imagine this. These officers who brutally beat this gentleman for him to be in intensive care, they said they couldn't prove who exactly did it, but they fired them for falsifying reports. They should have been fired alone for that case. Back to the article. After his beating, Scott was accused of assault and violent conduct and kept for months in solitary confinement. Again, we have to look at patterns. We keep seeing the same pattern. Officer abuses incarcerated individual. The person is beaten. The person, in this case, the person did receive medical treatment, and then the person is placed in solitary confinement. Back to the article. The incident left him with lasting injuries, he said in an interview. Scott, 44, has difficulty breathing and speaks softly, he said, because it hurts to talk. In December 2021, Scott filed a lawsuit against the officers he said beat him. In a voice as quiet as a whisper, he said, "I want to be heard." If you found value in this video, please consider joining and becoming a member. The first and second tier memberships are both less than the price of a Starbucks cup of coffee. It helps financially support the channel. If not, no worries. Feel free to like the video, comment on the video below, share the video, and if you feel that I've earned it, please subscribe to the channel. My goal is to give you honest and direct feedback and go deeper than what the mainstream media is telling and showing you. Take care, God bless, and see you next time.